If it's Tuesday night, it's a special edition of the Mikey's Mindset. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Flecha, and welcome to the first edition. What's going to be a new Tuesday trend coming this July. If many of you guys have not known, what is going to happen is that every Tuesday night, starting at 10:30 Eastern, starting this July, myself and my crew will be invading this channel. That's right, the wrestling forum is going to be going 2 nights a week because of the fact that WWE has decided to make Friday Night SmackDown or Thursday Night SmackDown a Tuesday live show on the USA Network starting July 18th. With that said, with the draft also coming very soon, the wrestling forum, Derek Ferreira and the producers have decided that we're going to do 2 shows a night. That's right. Monday night will be hosted by Anthony Florio on the Tone 25. He will be covering the Monday Night Raw end of the programs, and he does his Tony Chase, which would be TNA Wrestling, and I'm trying to convince him to take on NXT. I hope we do get an NXT from Florio, but we don't know what the future holds for NXT. But on this show, on the Tuesday night edition, you will get the live SmackDown, Tuesday Night SmackDown, now live, starting in July. Also, you're going to get Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, and any news from the Renegade Wrestling Alliance RWA. If I get any news, I will feed it to you guys. You guys will get to see it starting this July, 10:30 Eastern on Brace Fan 95. But before we get into that, we need to get into what happened this week. Therefore, this is why I am on. Unfortunately, last night, things happened that was beyond my control, but I got to hang out with a couple of my buddies from the job, and we decided, you know what? Let's watch the Stanley Cup final, and let's watch Game 7 of the NBA Western Conference Finals. So we went to the Dublin Rose, which is not far from where I work in Seekonk, Massachusetts, and I must give a major shout out to the men and women of the Dublin Rose. You guys were absolutely so good to us. Thank you so much for having me and the guys there, and I definitely will be going back to your establishment in the very near future. So, unfortunately, as you know, I wasn't on the wrestling forum last night, and I decided that I was going to do the show right here, right now, for all you great guys out there because, I love you guys, and you guys have been so good to me in the past. So, this is what I'm going to do. I did see the Monday Night Raw from last night, and I will give you a full exclusive recap of the show. Then I will also, guys, hit you guys up with what's going down on what happened on Lucha Underground. I will also hit you guys with anything from the world of Ring of Honor. Plus, tonight, I also got a couple of more announcements from RWA, and I don't know if I'm going to get the okay and the clearance to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. We actually heard comments earlier today by the RWA Triple Crown and Hype Champion Triple-Licious about his upcoming fight against Brian Fury. I am going to play that video right here tonight. I hope I'll be able to do it. I hope you guys will be able to hear it. I know I tried that once before, and unfortunately, we had a major failure, a malfunction in the junction. Hopefully, that won't happen tonight. But with that said, it's game time. Let's go to work. Let's talk about last night's Monday Night Raw, which was from the Rush Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, exclusively on USA. It started out with a very touching tribute. As many of you guys know, yesterday was Memorial Day, and on the behalf of myself, I would like to give a big shout out to the men and women of our armed forces, guys. We love you guys. Thank you for the sacrifice that you guys have done to give me and my family and the guys, our freedom and our liberty and your sacrifice has been so immense. I can't even put into words. And as a fellow person that's had family in the military, it's even more powerful for me to say that I have friends who's actually in military, and I had a couple of family members that actually was in military. One actually did a tour in Iraq, and I believe he did a tour in Afghanistan as well. So I have the most utmost love and respect for the United States troops out there, men and women. You guys, you don't even know what you guys mean to me. I mean, bottom of my heart, I love you guys. Please come back home safe to your families, and God bless you guys. All right, so Lillian Garcia stood in the ring, and basically the entire locker room cleared out. They did a tolling of 10 bells. Plus, we also saw this very great speech, a very moving speech by some of the WWE superstars and personalities reciting some lines that was made by former President Ronald Reagan. And it was a very powerful moment there. So we had that great video package. It got us right into the show. It started off with a promo by Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon as they were talking about about what was going to happen with the draft and how July 19th was going to be a momentous day as SmackDown will be live and from now on will be live. And they talked about the draft, they talked about SmackDown going live, and we get the interruption of the New Day. The New Day showed up, and they start talking about certain things. Could they get split up? In the draft. What would happen if all this stuff happening about the draft, and it kind of was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the New Day, and I'm a major fan of their body of work. I love what they do. I love what they bring to the table. But my God, man. I mean, okay. I don't know why they did. I mean, I get it. They're trying to conjure up a lot of excitement for the draft and everything else. But you could have done this in a different route. I think you could have done it a different way. Bringing in the New Day, I don't know. I just did not like it. I didn't like the segment. I kind of felt like it dragged for the most part, and I don't know what to have made of it. I thought it was okay for what it was worth. I'm just not very high on them. But after that, we got a match, non-title, as it was Aiden English, Simon Goff, the Vaudevillains versus two members of the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E Langston. Well, the fight basically ends in a DQ finish because the club showed up. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows showed up and jumped the New Day and did a pummeling job. Now, okay, I'll give this an NA. I don't got no time here. But it was understandable. Of course you want to make a legitimate threat, and you want to make Gallows and Anderson legitimate contenders for the tag team titles. They're going to be major players in that division, and I believe they are future WWE tag team champions. They're going to end the New Day's run sooner or later. What I don't understand, what I think that happened was good, not great. I liked what I saw, and we'll just move on from that. All right. Next thing we had was the Usos versus Tyler Breeze and Fandango. And the winners of the bout in a minute and 40 seconds was the Uso brothers. All right. Yawn. easily worst fight, one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. Okay, I get it. You want to make the Usos look good. You want to make them look strong. You want to make them look really, really strong and whatnot. And then you had this brief little awkward moment where you had Fandango and Tyler Breeze approach the Golden Truth. And, there was a brief Golden Truth chant. It looks like they're trying to push them, trying to get them to get excited, whatnot. I don't know. I was really, um, I was really not as excited about it, but it is what it is. So the next thing we had was a moment. It was a segment by Roman Reigns, interrupted by Seth Rollins, and it was okay. Roman was basically working the mic, trying to do his routine. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the D guy bit. What they've been playing for the last few months. And then you see Seth Rollins show up. So I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Rollins is going to say something? No, he doesn't. Does not even say a word. He teases everybody, drops the mic, heading towards the ring in a determined look, and it looks like he was gonna go after him, and then backs up and walks away laughing. I mean, all right. Okay, I understand what they're trying to do. It's the mind games. Seth Rollins is trying to get into the head of Roman Reigns. But and I really think this was solid. I love what Seth Rollins did. He didn't have to do anything. He looked menacing. He looked dangerous. He looked like that cunning. He looks like the architect of the Shield. He looked like a guy that was going to do whatever he wanted to do, and he was going to say, "Hey, I am one step ahead of you. You thought I was going to come out here and give you some kind of anything and whatnot? I'm going to play this by my rules. I'm going to play this by my spot. I'm not going to let you fall into, I'm going to make you feel, you're going to get your day. I'm going to get you soon enough. Not yet. Not yet. Solid. Probably one of the segments of the night. Probably one of these segments of the night. I'm not going to say the segment, but it was pretty decent enough. Next up we had was Rusev one-on-one with Zack Ryder. Winner of the bout. Rusev, 2 minutes, 35 seconds. All right, yawn. Why should I even give you a rating for this fight? We all know this was a one-sided fight. Yeah, Ryder got a little bit of some offense, but I mean, it didn't last very long. I mean, less than 3 minutes. I mean, that's almost equivalent of almost less than a round of boxing, for God's sakes. I mean, I'm not. Why should I even waste my time talking about this? Then, after Rusev puts the accolade on Zack Ryder, Titus O'Neil shows up, and he's trying to bulk himself up, trying to make himself look strong because he's supposed to be the contender now for the United States Heavyweight Championship. All right, fine. We'll see what happens there, but I'm not gonna preach too much about it. Like I said, you know what I want to see Rusev go into. I want to get a rivalry with a Sheamus or an Alberto Del Rio, whatever the case may be. Fine, whatever. So the next thing we had, well, there was a backstage moment which was actually really good, which was Stephanie McMahon and Charlotte getting berated by Stephanie after her actions about dumping Ric Flair and, her attitude and, talking about how Charlotte is not a champion. She's a waste of talent because of what she did, how she embarrassed herself last week after she basically humiliated Ric Flair in front of the whole world. That mega heat moment that she had. I mean, it was good. I know there was some people in the IWC that was saying pot meets kettle in some certain situations, but I thought it was solid enough. I did not have any problem with this rant at all. I thought it was well done, to say the very least. And I think it was one of those where it kind of was like a subliminal type thing. Like, it gives Charlotte the moment to get over as a mega heel when you have basically the $1 billion princess, one of the most notorious heels, basically ripping you a new one because of antics that you pulled back in the day, because of pulling some antics. Well, it is what it is. Next up we had was a 2-for-1. You had a very good moment as it was Enzo Amore and Big Cass. They cut a promo. Enzo, money on the mic as always. It was, yeah, oh my God. He is so over with the WWE universe. It's not even funny. Anthony Flair goes nuts about him. Michael Bullock goes nuts about him. Dee Woodson, she needs to warm up to them. So does Bill McConnell. I gotta say, those two guys. You know what? Like Enzo Amore say, we got some haters. We got some haters. Well, hate is the opposite of love, and how you doing? But anyway, Enzo Amore, Big Cass goes up against the Dudleys. Good match. Enzo and Cass wins 9 minutes and 20 seconds. At the moment, this would have been the fight of the night. Second best fight of the night for me. A solid, 2.5, 3 stars. I'll give it about 2.5 stars. This was pretty good. It was a crowd pleasing win. Yeah, the crowd was flat pretty early, but who could blame them? But Enzo and Big Cass are so good together. They're money on the mic. So, I mean, there's really nothing bad to say about it. They're so good, so strong. Um, there's really nothing more to say. The next thing we had was a segment. John Cena comes out, his big return. Um, he cuts a major promo, a nice promo to say the very least, about liberty. He basically refers a lot, from some speeches from John F. Kennedy. He talks about some great American moments because it is Memorial Day, and Miss John Cena is always pro USA, Mr. USA, does things for the troops. He's so good at everything he does. A.J. Styles show up, so you get this nice little record between the two men, and then. All right, hold on one second, folks. Come in, come in. I'll put it back on in a few minutes. I'm doing a video. You sweaty? I'm doing a video. Yeah, thank you so much. Love you too. Sorry about that, guys. So, and then AJ Styles was continuing to, he cut his promo, and you had this moment where AJ and Cena are together, and it's like an oh my God, can you believe this is happening type moment. The next thing we know, here comes Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and they cut a promo talking about how AJ is sucking up to Cena, and that they were gonna start their they're not here to kiss their rear ends. We're ready to fight. We're ready to brawl. The next thing we know, AJ Styles turns on John Cena, and the beat down ensues. A 3-on-1 takeout on John Cena. I mean, this absolutely caught everybody by surprise. I don't think we saw this coming. This was an absolute beautiful move by WWE, an absolute picture perfect heel turn by AJ Styles, and now he's firmly in the club. The Bullet Club is now a power of three now. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. I love this attitude, you know. And Gallows said it best. That's the real AJ Styles, and it really looked great. Um, and then they try to talk, they try to work the angle, and JBL was going on a major rant about AJ Styles, how John Cena was giving this heartfelt speech on this day that Cena is a patriot, and that it was so disrespectful for AJ Styles and for the club to do what they did of today's of all days. I mean, it just felt like, they added more fuel to the fire. They added that real utter hatred for the club because of taking out John Cena, beating him down on Memorial Day, the day of all days where Cena has, like I said, has done so many great things for the family, for the troops, for going to the military bases, and the Make a Wish, and how Cena is a great individual, and for him to get beaten up, attacked, in that kind of way, I really feel like this was the segment of the night for me. And I had nothing bad or nothing wrong against it. I just think it was just beautifully done. Everything about it was great. I had nothing bad to say about it. I think it was solid enough. So the next thing we had was Dana Brooke going one-on-one with Natalia. Dana Brooke won the match in 1 minute and 20 seconds. As basically she was able, basically Charlotte interfered, try to distract Natalia for a second, and basically Dana Brooke was able to put Natalia into the Michinoku driver, gets the 1, 2, 3. Then the next thing we know, the heels try to work over Natalia. Becky Lynch shows up, makes the save. It was a 2-on-1. It was gonna be a 2-on-2 thing. They said, we don't want no part of this. So I mean, all right. I can't believe this was a whole home diva fight. It just didn't sit well with me at all. I didn't like it. Whatever. Um, let's just move on. The next thing we had was Baron Corbin one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. Corbin uh, beats Ziggler by disqualification in 30 seconds because basically um, Dolph Ziggler basically knocked Baron Corbin. It just basically says Baron Corbin just got hit below the belt, a low blow. Um, yeah, okay. I mean, I could eye roll here. Absolutely, there's no need for it. It was a dud. I'm not gonna even waste my time about it. Let's just move on. The next thing we had was a couple of backstage segments. I'm not going to get into that. Our main event for the evening, Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro versus Kevin Owens, Alberto Del Rio, and Chris Jericho. The winner of the bout in 18 minutes. Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, and Antonio Cesaro. 3.5-star fight of the night. This was great. This was a great match. They finally gave us an actual Monday Night Raw fight. I think because of the fact that, yes, I know Stanley Cup final was going, Game 7 of the Western Conference final was going, but they gave us finally a TV quality main event. I liked the storyline and everything that went down in this fight, and it actually solidifies a little bit more of the what's going to happen next in per se of the upcoming WWE Money in the Bank ladder match. You got six people already in that match. So I liked it. I loved it. I thought it was a great job to close a Monday Night Raw. It was lackluster at best. I mean, the Green Bay crowd deserved better. I mean, yeah, it was an absolute joke what they did. We knew they were going to phone it in. they actually did, and then some. We only had one legit good fight, which was the 6-man tag at the end of the show. The only other couple of moments that really stood out was the John Cena, um, A.J. Styles moment that led to the big rant. What led to the big beatdown. The tag team fight was pretty solid between Enzo and Cass and the Dudleys, and then the opening segment of Monday Night Raw, not the Stephanie and Shane segment, but the nice little tribute that they did for the troops and on Memorial Day. I thought that was actually beautifully done, but everything else was just absolute garbage and an absolute throwaway. And normally, if I was Derek Ferreira, yes, I would be going on this mega rant. I'd be yelling, I'd be cursing, I'd be doing a whole bunch of other things. But for me, as a rating for this Raw, I'm only going to give this a 3 to 3.5. I think this was an absolute throwaway. WWE just threw a show out there because they knew nobody was probably going to watch this tonight because of, like I said, you had Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then you had the first game of the Stanley Cup Final between the San Jose Sharks and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So what was the point? What was the need for it? They basically threw that show away. Absolute garbage. I could not even, like, I don't know what Anthony and the rest of the guys would have rated the show. I thought this was an absolute disaster and then some. WWE will definitely want to change their game up a little bit, and I think they'll get better next week because at least next week they won't have that many things to worry about. But this show was absolutely horrible. I'm not going to stand for it, and I'm not going to shed any more light on much more than that. So let's just get into the next part of our show, which is basically we're going to talk about Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground this week had some very good stuff, I got to say. Basically, first off, we had a match between Masarika Sangrada, the Little Mini, versus Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan wins the match in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I'm going to give this about 1 to 1.5 stars. It was okay, fine, whatever. I'm not going to make that much of a big deal about it. The next fight we had was Cage one-on-one with Chavo Guerrero for the Gift of Gods title. We have a new champion, ladies and gentlemen. Cage wins the belt, 8 minutes and 5 seconds. What a match. I mean, even for the short time that they had, I was really impressed with this. 3.25 stars for me. I was thoroughly impressed. This was a great match. But the bigger news coming out of that is that now Cage has actually invoked his clause. He has surrendered the belt. He is going to fight the monster Matanza Cueto tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, on the next edition of Lucha Underground. And that will be for the Lucha Underground world title. An unbelievable match. I'm so excited for that match that match tomorrow night. I mean, these are two big boys, two big thoroughbreds. I can't wait to see this match. This is going to be an unbelievable showdown. And then in the main event, was for the Lucha Underground Trios Championship. It was Jack Evans, PJ Black, and a mystery partner against Rey Mysterio, Dragon Azteca Jr., and Prince Puma. Basically, it was supposed to be somebody else, but they got laid out. Talia Vicarin shows up and says, I got a surprise for you. PJ and Jack Evans both freak out. They're like, wait a minute, that was our partner. What are you doing? They're like, you got a partner now. It's Johnny Mundo. That's right. Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo. He will team with them. The winners of the bout and new Lucha Underground Trios champions, Jack Evans, PJ Black, the Nightwolf PJ Black, and Johnny Mundo. They win the bout Fight of the night, 4 stars for me. This was unbelievable. Great action, up and down it went. Yeah, the finish was a little clunky because of the fact that there was some interference, multiple interference in that match. But, it's better when the Rudos, the bad guys, gets the victory. I'm so happy for them. It was unbelievable how that ended, and it was an amazing match. I was very impressed with it. Very happy to say. Um, I got nothing bad to say about it. This was unbelievable. Great match. And actually, just to give you guys a fine folks know a little heads up here too. Date Lucha Underground has also announced that there's going to be a trios championship going down tomorrow night. From what I'm hearing, I think it is gonna be Ivalice, the Son of Havoc, and Atletico, who is actually the first ever trios champions. They're actually getting the opportunity to fight PJ Black, um, Jack Evans, and Johnny Mundo. I can't wait for this. I got it already set for my DVR, so I'll have something for you guys on Monday night on my recap when I do the Mikey's Mindset next. So let's get into Ring of Honor. The first fight on the Ring of Honor card was Leo Rush versus ACH. ACH wins the match. Solid fight. I definitely liked how it went down. I loved how everything, you know, played out at the end. So great match. Nothing bad to say about it. It was definitely a solid fight. But then, and what seemed to be a little bit of a shocking twist, Silas Young comes up and basically attacks ACH. So maybe that's your next rivalry. We'll wait and see what happens. The next match we had on the card was basically a three-team standoff. It was The Addiction, which is Frankie Kazarian and the Fallen Angel for Christopher Daniels against the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and Roppongi Vice. That's right, Roppongi Vice from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta, Roppongi Vice. And the winners of the match was the Motor City Machine Guns. Great match, solid fight. I'll even go as far to call it fight of the night. And then in our main event, we had a 6-man tag team fight where it was the Bullet Club Elite, which is Matt and actually it's no new member. It's actually Matt Taven. Matt Taven joining commentary. So basically, it is basically let's see. No, I'm sorry. It is Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they went up against Yoshitatsu, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and the Unbreakable Michael Elgin. The winners of the bout was the Bullet Club Elite. Great match, solid fight, unbelievable way to close the show. And like I said, this is going to be the first of many matches we're going to see. And I really liked how this played out. I loved the psychology. I loved how everything played out. To say the very least, I thought it was a solid way to close the show. And it was definitely one of my highlights of the night. I really enjoyed this very much. And it was definitely a solid show to close the event on. So now we're going to get into one last thing before we get on out of here. Like I said, there was an announcement that went down just a few days ago, and what was going down was they had announced a match. Well, it was the card for the RWA. Um, Basically, the card for the RWA's legacy has been loaded up already, and there's some people who's been in the matches. So let me just give you basically the complete rundown, and then I actually got pre-recorded comments by the RWA Triple Crown and Hype Champion, Triplicious. He will be on the card, and we'll hear from him in just a matter of moments. So, this is what is going to go down. First off, we have is the Legacy Cup. The Legacy Cup is a battle royale, and the winner of it gets an opportunity to basically will get to fight for any match for any title that he seems fit. So that basically means the RWA Triple Crown, Hype, or tag team titles could be on the line anytime, any place, anywhere. It also could go down the night of the event. With that said, here is the official card of the official lineup for you guys to know what is going on. First off, we have is Dave Cole. He's going to go one-on-one with the ace, Mike Montero. You got Brian Milanis. He's going to go one-on-one with the Juice, JT Dunn. Plus, on top of that, we also will have the RWA debut of Christian Casanova, who is the Thriller of New England. We also will have the debut of the Maximum Mecca. She will be making her RWA debut. Plus, the Minutemen, the RWA Tag Team Champions, President God Devin Blades, and Tommy Trainwreck will put their titles on the line as they will be fighting 3 other tag teams. However, as of right now, still no announcement has been made on who they are going to be facing at this time. I've been trying to get the RWA management to give me some kind of heads up. Yo, who are they going to fight? Unfortunately, we got no news as of now. Plus, coming off his big victory, Ace Romero will make his return to RWA Legacy. He is going to go one-on-one with somebody very soon. We don't know who it's going to be just yet. Now, one match has also been announced, which is going to be unbelievable. This could be the ultimate blow-off. It's going to be Jammin' Jack Connor one-on-one with the Mind Eraser Mike Rasa. We already know what these guys have been going through. This rivalry has been so bad. It has to come. Something has to come to the end at one point. Another big announcement that was also made by the RWA management, this actually was announced a couple of weeks ago, is High Class Rich Bass will also be in the house. And he has also said when he made his debut that his client will be an RWA champion. Who's that client? Who did Rich Bass acquire? Well, you're probably gonna have to wait and see at Legacy who that is. Of course, like I said, the Legacy Cup will also be up for grabs as well. And basically, the winner of the Legacy Cup will get an opportunity to go for any title he sees fit, anytime, any place, anywhere. As of right now, we have 6 individuals who had just been announced for this match. They are, in no particular order, T Phoenix, Tim Davidson, Izzy Starr, Chris Sterling, Judge Chambers. Now, I can make a big stink about why Judge Chambers is in there, but I won't. And a person that has actually just got added to the card just a few days ago, RWA management has announced that Steve Warner or Steve Weiner. If I made a mistake, I apologize. But I think it's Warner is how you pronounce it. Steve Warner has been added to the Legacy Cup Rumble. He will be in East Greenwich, Rhode Island on June 11th, as he will have his opportunity to possibly win the RWA Legacy Cup. And if he does win it, then he will become the #1 contender and will get an opportunity to go for the belt that he seems fit. All right, guys. So I hope you guys can hear me right now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take